Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ashira Eliana binti Azmi Isam. Today, my group will present about the problem and solution of cross-country communication. Introduction. Human begin needs to communication with other human begins to meet their need of their life as a solution begins. Thus, a cross-country communication if unable. Her explained we were living begin needs to communication with each other no matter young or woman or animal. The second introduction, communication problem are something that accompany expect by every couple. However, there does not mean there is no way to a solution. There are awareness we is overcome it. We are a charity needs to work together to solve the problem of the communication between that so that the issue will not long be a problem in the future. The problem 1. Attitude is the result of a welter of the awareness aspect of something. Attitude is one feeling of liking or dislike. Attitude are important to every human being. Attitude can reflect a person's personality. A person's attitude does at other culture might have a people does their culture. For explain, an attitude that like to every something without having to dip into it first, which is like a voluntary Chinese as a people will not cook. A waiter but Ableton is strong. We need to develop into it first before one values it. Negative attitude towards other country will make a cross-cultural communication difficulty of success. Negative attitudes as a throwing rubbish into the plain worship of other race. This cause communication and enterprise problem we caught by between following race. So, for the problem is attitude is important for human being to need to a communication is good. So, you must to care about your attitude for each other or for its culture. So you need to change your attitude. Okay, for the second problem, I will for Umi Aswati. Assalamualaikum.
My name is Umi Aswati and I want to present about the problem interracial. And the first problem is prejudice between races. Each race practices its own culture and way of life. For example, Muslims pray 5 times a day, and Chinese, on the other hand, would burn yellow pepper to ward off spirits during the ghost month according to belief. Some cultures cannot accept cultures between other races. For example, the burning of yellow pepper causes some people with respiratory disease, such as asthma, to have difficulty breathing, and the burning also polluted the yard of the nearest neighbor house. Each race also uses its own language to interact with each other. These language differences will give rise to prejudice between other races. For example, Muslims are forbidden to eat pork. Hindus are forbidden to eat beef. This eating practice will cause problems if there are neighbors who mistakenly give food, can then provoke fights between religious believers. Lack of knowledge is each ethnic group has its own education system. For example, Malay students at the Malay schools use the Malay language, and Chinese students in the Chinese schools also use the medium of instruction, while Indian students also use their mother tongue as well. This schooling system separates students according to their mother tongue, as the above situation only causes their interaction to be limited only between the same ethnicities only. Religious conflict is misunderstanding of religion between races. Most cases involve individuals or groups who exploit religious sentiments and act outside the Sharia of religious life. For example, Christians insult the teaching of Islam because they think that Islam is not the really true religious because to worship an invisible God. Islam, on the other hand, considers Christians to be far astray because they consider Jesus to be God when they know that Jesus is the Prophet Isa. And I will pass our next present to Nurul Haifa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Haifa binti Bakri. Today I want to talk about stereotypes and prejudice. Okay, let's start. The first is a negative attitude in human groups. It can occur due to difference in class or economic position, difference in social position of rank, and difference educational status. The second is that can happen in any society, whether multiracial and multi-religious, or even in one race. This happens because of very significant different status. The third is the human habit that really likes to put others in certain categories and separate each other according to groups. And the lastly is stereotypes and prejudice attitudes are indeed strongly influenced by historical and social reasons. Thank you. And the next presentation is Amy Alisa binti Aswati.
Hi guys and Assalamualaikum. My name is Amy Alisa. Today I want to present Solution 1, Study Other Cultures and Religion. Okay, the first, different eating utensils. For example, Chinese to use chopstick and Malay and Indian to use fork and spoon. Okay, this secondly, different formal attire. For example, Malay Muslim traditional Malay Muslim, baju kurung, baju Melayu. Okay. Indian sari, and Chinese cheongsam. Okay. Lastly, different place of worship. Malay Muslim pray at mosques or surau, and Chinese and Indian pray at any temple. So that's all for me. Solution 2 by Fazira Samad. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fazira. Today I want to present about second solutions is approach from the get-go. Firstly is respecting our difference. We need to respect each other, even we are in difference of religion and so on. Secondly is take a step back and consider one another's perspective. If we want to be successful, we need learn from our experience in life before doing anything. trying to find other perspectives to face our late mistake. Lastly, do not be judgmental. As a human, we did not to judge person by their cover. We need to know them well before we begin to judge them. Thank you.
And the conclusion is, based on the above explanation, then uniting this multiracial Malaysians is not an easy task. It requires effort and energy from all walks of Malaysian society. What is more important is every citizen, no matter who of any descent, farmer or minister, supporter or the governments of all positions, all must be honest and sincere in striving to achieve interracial unity.